Hello everybody. Today's review is going to be of a show called Hazbin Hotel, which was actually recommended to me by somebody at work. So finally getting around to it. I'm just kind of, again, I go with whatever I'm feeling like watching, and this one was kind of one of those ones where I was like, I'm kind of going through my TV show, I guess. I don't really know, phase, I guess you could call it. It's just switching from movies to a lot of TV shows recently. So yeah, again, like I said, if I miss a day, it's because I'm watching something that's maybe a little bit longer than some of the other ones, but I'm trying to get some short ones in, and then maybe go back and do a couple more movies, and then try to get another TV show in by next Friday. That's a little 3 seasons long, called Glitch. I'm gonna try to get that in by next Friday. So, but yeah, this one has been Hotel season 1 and 2 so far. It looks like there's going to be a season 3 and 4, probably in the fall, I would imagine, because it looks like that's when the last season came out, started in October of last year. So I would imagine that season 3 and 4 will probably do the same thing. So season 3 will be later this year, and then season 4 will be probably 2027. But I am looking forward to it because I really did enjoy this show. So we'll go into the cast list. I gave this an 8 out of 10 too as a rating. I thought it was very well deserved, and it's definitely not for, even though it is animated, it's definitely like not a kids animation. It's definitely for adults. So it's one you can definitely go and watch as an adult and thoroughly enjoy, like I did, because it has a lot of dark comedy in it, and yeah, dark humor is definitely my thing. So yeah, but yeah, this talks about like heaven and hell and how they're constantly at war, and like the kind of like almost like a backstory to it as well, which I thought was really cool. And some things that like a whole new take kind of on the whole heaven and hell situation, which I thought was very interesting actually. So yeah, just some things that I never even really thought about before. So we have, yeah, cast list. Sorry, we have Stephanie Beatriz as Vaggie, Erica Henningsen as Charlie Morningstar, Blake Roman as Angel Dust, Keith David as Husk, Kamiko Glenn as Nifty, Amir Talia as Alistair, Alex Brightman as Sir Pentious and Adam, uh, Joel Perez as Valentino, uh, Chris, Christian Borle as Vox, Lily Cooper as Velvet, Jeremy Jordan as Lucifer Morningstar, Patrick Stump as Abel, Christina Albato, I want to say is how you pronounce her name, Cherry Bomb, Jessica Vosk as Loot, Shoba Narayan, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, as Emily, uh, Patina Miller as Sarah, Kevin Del Ayula as Baxter, Daphne Rubin Vega as Carmilla Carmine, and last but not least, we had Leslie Rodriguez Kritzer as Rosie. So all very important. Well, at least those were the most important characters to me, anyway. The ones that had some sort of importance in the story. So we'll go over, I guess. Sorry, just let me get my papers in order here because I had a whole bunch of other stuff written down as to like where the show starts and like obviously my notes. So yeah, the first thing that started was like the narration from Charlie, where she's talking about how Adam and Lilith were the first two on Earth, and I guess we kind of know like the story of like Satan, obviously, or Lucifer. Like he went against what the rest of the council wanted in heaven, so he was banished. Or they call him like a fallen angel, I guess, sort of thing. But yeah, so I guess it was Adam and Lilith, and then Lilith was was she also banished too? And then I guess her and Lucifer fell in love, sort of thing, and then they went to hell together. And then it was, of course, Adam and Eve, which is the normal story that we all know. So the Adam and Lilith thing was a little interesting because it was almost like uh, it was like a heaven and hell thing on Earth sort of thing with the two of them, because obviously Lilith was like known more as like a demon name, right? At least associated with this kind of thing, I would think. So yeah, Lilith and Satan are banished to hell, and then heaven, who we kind of find out in the show isn't really as great as they seem, send an army to exterminate uh, the souls in hell, so they can't really gain power to fight back. So they do this once a year. And of course, Charlie's whole thing is trying to redeem all these souls through her hotel to get them redemption in order to send them to heaven. That was like her whole thing. So hell's not really like this horrible place. It's basically just this place where all these people go that have sinned, I guess, in like the eyes of heaven, right? And then they're trying to find redemption. But of course, they exterminate all these souls so that they can't gain power, because that's what heaven has been. Uh, that's what heaven's message has been, right? That, you know, if these people get power in hell, they'll be able to uprise and destroy heaven. So we have to, you know, keep them at bay, sort of thing. But then, obviously, as some of the people go, like even Sarah, she's like, you know, I kind of like blindly followed these orders for so long, and like, how many souls could I have saved? You know, if I hadn't been exterminating them, right? Like, how many souls were redeemable in hell? We'll never know, because, you know, they've died once, that's where they've gone, and then we come down and we kill them again. So it's kind of a crazy concept, for sure. And then, of course, Adam gets involved and says that he's going to bump up the exterminations to every 6 months. And, you know, I guess they have to kind of listen to him because he was the first man on Earth. So now that he is in heaven, he is kind of the one in charge. He's almost like the godlike figure in heaven. Because I don't think they ever really talk about like a higher power other than him. So yeah, it was kind of interesting to see that you know, that was also something totally different in the show too, that like Adam was the highest power in heaven, and nobody could really was supposed to go against his word. And of course, who was it like followed him blindly too, like the one soldier, Lute was the one that followed him completely blindly, and even after he died, like just wanted to go on an absolute rampage and destroy and kill everybody in hell. And of course, we had Vox kind of working behind the scenes, creating this weapon, and always having these battles with Alistair, as to who was the most powerful demon. Now, obviously, Alistair was the smarter one out of the two of them, because he was making deals with everybody and asking everybody. Like, he was the one who had the power, really, I would say. Out of all of the demons in hell, Alistair was definitely the most powerful. And I believe he was supposed to be like a Wendigo, from what I was gathering, because he had the antlers. So that was the closest I could think as to what he was supposed to be as far as demons go. Now, some of them, it was hard to tell. I'm not really sure. Like, do we know what Lucifer is supposed to be? Like, what kind of beast he's supposed to be? I'm sure I do, but I can't think of it right now. And then I'm not really sure what Charlie was supposed to be. And then Husk, I believe he was. Now, he had wings, so I'm not really sure. And he looked like he was part cat. I guess I'm gonna have to look into it a little bit more as to, like, maybe what every demon in hell was supposed to be associated with, especially Angel, because he was a. I'm not really sure if he was one on Earth, but at least in hell he had become like a porn star, so he was also sitting in hell. And of course, you know, he'd been living at the hotel trying to redeem himself, and only to find out that he had been secretly working for Vox through like mind control, to be spying on the hotel the entire time to give Vox more power. Now, Alistair was very smart in his way to make Vox think that he was the most powerful demon there, and then of course Alistair tricks him into fighting him again, and makes this huge mess of things in the very last episode when Vox is trying to power up his weapon. So yeah, Vox was the owner of Vox Tech's Enterprises, and that was his company, and he worked with Val, and there was one other person that worked alongside him for most of the show. Velvet was the other one that worked with him too. Now, they kind of go back and forth with him, like as far as trusting him, obviously, because Vox keeps trying to say that, this is all his idea, even though it was definitely a group effort between the three of them. So yeah, it was like he just wanted all the power. He didn't really care who he hurt or who he killed, and it kind of showed when he blasted a hole through heaven with his weapon at the very end that he was powering with Satan or Lucifer himself, which is kind of crazy. So he was using Charlie's dad, and then of course he wanted to get Charlie to admit that he was the most powerful demon, and then of course with the deal that Charlie had made with Alistair to save heaven from the next extermination, that was the one little favor that he had asked her. And of course, Vox was always trying to make the hotel look bad, including Charlie, obviously. So Charlie tries to set things straight after Vox lies about the hotel, and that just gives him more power because he's able to control the narrative right through his media company. So it doesn't really ever work out in Charlie's favor, unfortunately for her, because he can make her look any way he wants, right? So then, of course, Alistair makes that deal with Vox to basically be his puppet, so he's no longer under the control of who was it? I guess he was under the control of Rosie, who was like the leader of the cannibals, who they recruited for their army when they had their big, huge war with Heaven there in the one episode. So yeah, he was under the control of Rosie. Alistair was controlling, like, basically the owner of Husk. Angel Dust was under the control of, who was it that he was under the control of? Oh my god. He was under the control of Valentino. So basically, the stronger you were, I guess, the more power you could have over people. And obviously, if you were constantly making deals, you basically owned their soul, in a sense. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting concept. Like, there was obviously like a power grab for every demon, right? And by the end of it, I guess Angel Dust kind of decided that he didn't really have a place. Like, he should just go back to his job and not be around them, because he had actually ended up hurting them in the end. So he was trying to say that he was like unredeemable or irredeemable. I think one of those is right. So it was kind of sad to see that he just thought he wasn't redeemable, even though he had slowly been becoming the better of them all, really, throughout the entire show. So then, yeah, like I said, Vox had Angel Dust as a spy. Then he builds the weapon, obviously, to destroy Heaven, which doesn't work out. And then, things go back to the way they were. Obviously, thanks to Emily coming together with everybody else to take out the weapon that Vox had built. Now, Valentino and Velvet turn on Vox, thank God, after he just, said that he didn't really care. He just wanted to take out Alistair, because Alistair was the radio guy and he was the TV guy. He wanted to prove that he was superior to Alistair. That was really his main goal. He didn't really care about anything else. He just wanted, like, full power, and so did Alistair, too, in a sense, because he was watching them all try to take out the weapon and just kind of, if they die, they die. I don't really care. I'm here for myself, sort of thing. So Alistair wasn't really any better in the end, I guess. And yeah, her hotel worked for Serpentius anyway, because during the fight that they were having with Heaven, he was very selfless and tried to protect the others, and then when he died, he was redeemed and sent to Heaven. So yeah, it proved that her hotel could work, and of course Vox tried to prove that it couldn't, and was trying to prove that she couldn't come up with any evidence that it was going to work. So they had to create like this broadcast from Heaven with Serpentius in order for him to come through and say that he had been redeemed. Um, Now, obviously, his girlfriend wasn't very happy that he had died, but at least they were able to see one another again, even if it wasn't, face to face sort of thing. So I think she will probably try to redeem herself too, for sure. Cherry Bomb will definitely try to redeem herself in the third season so that she can be with Serpentius again, because I feel like she is a redeemable character, um, based on just the fact that really her only downfall is blowing up stuff, essentially. Now she obviously is into like the partying and the drugs and alcohol sort of thing too. So I mean there are some things that she has to redeem for. But yeah, lots of funny moments in this show for sure. But yeah, a really good, powerful storyline and a lot of musical numbers, which I was kind of shocked by. Um, but there are some singers in here, like the one who plays. Oh my God, where I keep flipping the wrong page. Sorry. The one who plays Abel, Patrick Stump, is the lead singer of Fall Out Boy. So there you go. I thought it kind of sounded like him, and I was like, this voice sounds super familiar when he started singing. So I was like, okay, yeah, cool. It's cool to see big names like that in this show. Uh, is there anything else I can really touch on? I guess at the very end of the second season, Lilith comes back. So there we go. Because Charlie calls her mom and says that everything's in order now. Heaven and hell have kind of come to terms. There are no more executions. So now her rehab program through the hotel can definitely work a lot better for people. And so that's a big plus. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more redeemable souls in the next season for sure. Now, maybe even some people that need to be sent to hell for a while to be redeemed again, because I feel like some of the uh, people in heaven weren't necessarily the best, including Lute herself. Like, she kind of seems like she could be on the verge of being sent there in certain points in the show. So I was like, this girl's got to be careful because she might be an angel, but she's done some pretty shady things uh, in the past that make me kind of think that she might get sent there at some point, and she might have to try to redeem herself, which I don't think is going to be easy for her because she seems pretty upset after Adam died. Which I mean, I understand because they were pretty good friends, so I get that. You don't want to see your friends die on either side of the battlefield, right? It's never a good feeling when somebody close to you passes away. So I understand that, but I feel like she's definitely on a revenge path, and that's not the heavenly way, right? So we'll see where that storyline goes because I'm interested in that. Uh, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much just kind of speculation for what the third season could be. And I will see you guys in the next review. Bye bye for now.